day, the issues are all the same, whether they be issues of man-made disaster or negligence, whether they be issues of natural disasters. All are disaster and not very palatable in the mouth, not very tasty in the mouth. It leaves a sour taste for all of us as Nigerians and humans. And in this program, one of our key and cardinal perspectives is to bring to the knowledge of managers, policymakers, and policy initiators the issues of centralizing and keying into the manifesto, not only of the United Nations and all the agencies, but of the National Disaster Reduction Plan of the Federal Ministry of Environment and other agencies that are allied to it. So today's program will be talking about disaster risk reduction, and then we'll take it off from there. The phone lines will be made open shortly, and then we'll listen to contributions coming from you, our listeners out there. Wonderful good afternoon. My name is Stephen Ogboli, the environment and you. Happy listening.
If you're a child, they grow, water can go use. If water kill your child, now water you go use. No. Told me back, mama, oh, me not no malo. Go someone to the shake, oh, malo me, oh, nothing without water. Go someone to the shake, oh, malo me, oh, me, you daughter.
Yes, as the late sage Fela Anikulapo Kuti puts it, water no get enemy. But we found out also that even in the case of water, there have been floodings here and there, and the rains have just started again in especially the arid regions of Nigeria and the central parts of Nigeria. Abuja has had its heavy windstorm and rain in the last 1 week. Exactly a week ago, the heavens opened while the elections, 2 weeks, the heavens opened while the elections were on, and people were drenched across Nigeria. And it also led to flooding in certain areas and the destruction of certain property because things were carried off, because people had dumped refuse into our water courses and places, and leading to silting here and there, and the water must find its level. It was reported in parts of Delta State that there was flooding. It was reported here in the FCT. Some communities around Masaka, Maraba, and communities around Gwagwalada experienced high water made its incursion into certain property and carried off a few items, perishable and otherwise, in the market. And then, so we have this issue, hydra-headed, of risk reduction, disaster risk reduction. What do we do as Nigerians, and how do listeners see it out there? What is necessary for us as individuals in our own, because it begins with us as individuals before we now start talking about a community and then talking about states and the whole nation. What is expected of us? The phone lines are open immediately. 0903-2229-797. I take it again, MTN line 0903-2229-797. And the WhatsApp hybrid line is open 081-822-22205. Hybrid line WhatsApp open again 081-822-22205. And the Etisalat line is open 081-822-22206. I take it again, Etisalat line 081-822-22206. The program is The Environment and You, Citizen FM 93.7. The lines are open. We'll be happy to hear from you as we contribute to this issue that borders on our livelihood. The whole essence of life is sustainability. We are currently challenged by areas and issues that have led to mismanagement of sustainability, because sustainability is all about keeping alive within the available system we find ourselves as human. But here we are currently, things are a little bit, how do we put it, uppity at a time. We find here and there, and of course it's expected with human life, we have here and there things going on. Like I said, 3 weeks ago it was the issue of oil spill and people vandalism. It's also, that's a human factor now, crime and criminality, causing and leading to people's deaths. That whole community was engulfed. A lot of wood was burnt, palm produce, cocoa, and other livelihood was affected. The fires, as I heard, as at yesterday, were still got in the place, because it takes a lot of time for petroleum to burn off. It's still smoldering and people are still bearing the stench of it. Then what transpires later will be acid rain. You find that the rain in Port Harcourt and Rivers States and across the south of Nigeria is almost brackish, black in color, and highly acidic. When it falls upon any material, you see residue. Now we come down this way also, and we're talking about the other aspects of the blockage of drainages and all other refuse being dumped indiscriminately in our water courses, our wetlands in the central areas of Nigeria and north central areas are all being taken over by huge human development, which is also a human factor now. And then you now find that there is no place for water, and therefore water begins to find its level. And now that the rains have come back again, we find houses being submerged and areas being pulled off. Even in Kubwa, there were areas at Biaji end of Kubwa that the rains washed off shops and small shops in the Biaji market and one or two areas nearby. And it's all about people not following design and protocol and doing the needful. Therefore, people building on water courses and dropping refuse indiscriminately has led to a lot of issues for us all. So today we'll be looking at how do we strengthen policies and institutions, which is the basic, because let's take our primary area of location, which is Abuja. We have the Abuja Environmental Protection Agency. And then what is their duty? What is their role? How well are they doing what they ought to be doing? How well are they going around to check sanitary conditions at the local government levels? How well have they strengthened their policies for implementation? We have to also identify the monitoring and the risk factors in the monitoring, because at times these service personnel go to these areas and there have been issues of attack or what have you. So most times they go around to do enforcement. You find that they have to carry law enforcement agents with them. Then we have the issue of knowledge and innovation. How far and how well have we come up with new innovations? Like I oftentimes have said on this program, Abuja does not have a modern day recycling plant. It does not even have a incinerator that can be used to where the waste material, you now have biofuels and biofertilizer and other additives being brought out from it, and the remaining burnt and turned into thermal heat energy and power to power electricity across the FCT. It has been known that the refuse generated in the FCT is enough to power and even send to neighboring states. And this is a time when government should key into this, added to other natural means like solar power, wind energy, which should be harnessed at this time. No group or no area in Abuja has light for more than 10 hours of a day. But if we key into this new methods, and we do a build, operate, and transfer 20 years for those who invest, and then they can take back their money in those years, and then it goes back to government. These are areas where Nigeria needs to look into, the FCT in particular, because of insecurity in most parts of the country. FCT has become one place where people feel safe. Just like people are moving to Lagos, people are moving to cosmopolitan areas in Nigeria, Port Harcourt, Kaduna, Kano, moving to those areas where they feel that they'll be safer because of insecurity. Now, the FCT has had an influx of over 2 million people in the FCT main and environs. By environs, we mean towns bordering the FCT, like Suleja, Masaka, Maraba, areas bordering close onto the FCT have a very large population of people. In the morning, you now see high influx vehicles driving into town to make a daily living. People are now living in the outskirts because of the higher cost of accommodation and other perceived costs. Now, this is a time when we, as the Federal Capital Territory, must, just as is done in other places, in other climes and countries, must have constant electricity supply, constant water supply, good road network, seamless transmission. We're talking about data now, and the internet services. That is all that makes life in a city capital of a country wholesome. Therefore, it is advised for those listening out there to look into these areas. There must also be the issue of reducing the underlying risk factors, such as environmental degradation and pollution and what have you. So indiscriminate dumping of refuse into our water courses that has led to the silting. The Jabi Lake has reduced by over 30% in the last 10 years. Houses have all come up around there. There's a Jabi Mall, Lake Mall. There are hotels all around. If you go towards the Kado Link aspect of it, houses have all come up. And those were natural wetlands of the FCT. Now, have they done proper channelization? Have they done proper reclamation? Have they done proper delineation of those places so that we all will not suffer the aftermath of these heavily built up areas in the years to come by flooding? No. So there are all sorts of issues raised, and the phone lines are open. Let us hear from you what we ought to do and what is necessary to be done for the FCT, primarily as the nation's capital within these times. The numbers are open: 0903-2229-797. The WhatsApp line 0818-2222-205. The Etisalat line is 0818-2222-206. Citizen FM 93.7. My name is Stephen Ogboli. The environment and you. As we come back, we take a short break and we continue.
Nothing without water.
Yes, as You're welcome back to the Environment and You program of Citizen FM 93.7, Labour House, Central Business District, Abuja. My name is Stephen Ogboli. This Saturday, we're talking about disaster risk reduction. And just as an opener, we talked about the issues from Lagos, where a train rammed into a BRT bus and people were left, many casualties. Before that, and for a period of about 2 months, trailers carrying heavy crates upon them have collapsed upon cars driving side by side on the roads. And what actually is the issue? Why are we having substandard vehicles on the road? What is happening to the LASMA or VIO here in Abuja, vehicle inspection units? What actually is happening? Why is there no quality control? Secondly is the issue, because most times as I was driving to the office this afternoon, I saw a broken down trailer bearing petroleum somewhere around Aso Radio Junction intersection. Now, the issues are this. We thank God it was not this a weekend, not a weekday. It would have created not only a gridlock, but a terrible traffic jam. Secondly is that it is bearing fuel. Now, is it, of course, we cannot say vehicles, we will know when it spoils and when it will be good and all of that, but suffice to say, trucks are very big vehicles that, if properly maintained, do not break down on roads. But here we have it in Nigeria, breakdown here, breakdown there. Not only is it that it's bearing fuel that is supposed to go for the use of Nigerians in a filling station, but it has also broken down on the road. And it is laden with fuel. This is a full tanker of petrol. If it is not pulled out the road and anything goes wrong, we will have a fire disaster in that area. Now, so these are all disaster issues. These are all risk factors in the crime, and there is need for us to be better suited for what we are supposed to do. The truckers, logistics company ought to also do better by making sure that their vehicles are up to the task, because we find it almost everywhere. You see huge vehicles broken down, and they are all carrying petroleum products or carrying other necessities and essentials. And we are not saying that mechanical faults don't happen, electrical faults don't happen, but how well do we manage these things to make sure that we are not unduly causing our own problems with our own hands? Because it is evident that if a car is properly maintained, you will not have tires blown out, you will have an engine breakdown, it will not have engine knock before it happens, before you have a radiator going back bad. At least something in the dashboard of the vehicle shows you that something is not as good as it's supposed to be. So these are issues that need serious attention. Those safety quality control officers in these logistic companies must up their games. Those persons who are in charge of the protocol for the logistics must insist that the vehicles brought in to carry whole fuel and petroleum products at such a time like this, when there is a pressing need for it across board, must bring very good vehicles that will do the job. Not because the person is involved and the contract has already been given, he will bring substandard vehicles. At times to carry products from one point to the other takes 5 days because of breakdown. And then at the other end, people are waiting. So it is the linkage and the management of supply chain management ought to be at its premium. People must do their job and do it right, and things must be set up rightly. Now, also the issues of the rains that have just come in, and is coming heavy. The last 3 rains in the last 7 days have been very heavy, with a lot of windstorm. We have had roofs of houses blown off and what have you. It also speaks volumes about quality control and maintenance and management within the system. Then we now have also the issues of small flooding across the FCT, meaning that silting and blockage of water drainage points have happened within the last 5 months of the dry weather. and a lot of things are going on. So there is actually need to up our game in this area and do the necessary things. The phone lines are open: 09032229797. I take it again: 09032229797. The MTN line. The hybrid WhatsApp line is 0818222205. The Etisalat line is 0818222206. And the program is the Environment IU Citizen FM 93.7, our usual Saturday afternoon tonic. As we continue listening, we go back to Fela Anikulapo Kuti, and he says, water no get enemy. If you fight them, except you won't die.
Water, you don't get enemy. Oh, me, you water, you don't get enemy. If you fight them unless you won't die, you don't get enemy. I say water no get enemy. Water, you don't get enemy. If you fight them unless you won't die, you don't get enemy. Oh, me, you water, you don't get enemy. And they talk of black man power. And they talk of black power. I say, water no get enemy. If you fight them unless you won't die. I say water no get enemy. I say water no get enemy. Oh, me, you water, oh, me, you water,
Shaitanir Rajim. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. This is to inform the general public that the holy month of Ramadan, the month of impactful rewards, and the month of blessings is here again. Therefore, we beseech Muslim faithfuls to sponsor our Ramadan programs such as Call to Prayers, Tafsir Quran, Qira'atul Quran, Ramadan Talks, Women of Jannah, Paradise, specially designed for the Muslimah, Children's Program for our young upcoming Ustaz, Dawn Program, Sahur Special, live on Citizen FM, and many more.
This call to prayer is sponsored by the Nigeria Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول
أشهد أن محمد رسول الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على الصلاة. حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
I am Nigeria. I am Nigerian. I am a citizen. Citizen FM 93.7 Abuja.
If you want go wash, now what are you go use? Tó o bá fẹ́ ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀, omi ló máa lò. If you want cook soup, now what are you go use? Torí bá ń gbóná o, omi lẹ̀rọ rẹ o. If your head dey hot, now water go cool am. Tọ́mọ bá ń dàgbà, omi ló.
Yes. According to the late Sage Fela Anikulapo Kuti, water no get enemy. And just as we are talking about it, the rains have opened up. This is a time of the rainy season coming in. A lot of windstorm is occasioned around Abuja and its environs, and then the rains coming down very heavy. The last 3 rains have been very heavy. And like I said, leaving houses submerged in certain areas for a few minutes, and a lot of water being seen in certain areas. This is not unconnected to the fact that indiscriminate dumping of refuse and silting occasioned by human activity. Now, was talking about what needs to be done, the tools necessary by our officials who are supposed to be doing the needful in enforcing or monitoring hygiene and what have you in various areas of the country. Now, the Federal Ministry of Environment had come up with the National Climate Change Policy, and within the National Climate Change Policy was enshrined all the areas, cross-cutting issues, the health areas, cross-cutting issues in agriculture, cross-cutting issues in water and water resource management, cross-cutting issues in the areas of mining, and cross-cutting issues in the general areas of financial management of the environment. Now, how well are we doing the needful? And what is necessary and what should be done at this time? And we also discussed the train mishap in Lagos, and we are wishing those affected recovery, quick recovery, and we are, by this means, also speaking out to those who are managing the affairs, both in the transport sector of the BRT and the transport sector of the Nigerian Railway Corporation. In Abuja here, just in Kubwa, 3 months ago it happened. A woman in her black Camry was also killed by the train. And what came out of it was the Nigerian Railway Corporation said that anybody crossing the rail lines, it has his own risk and not at the risk of, that his responsibility is not on the shoulders of the Nigerian Railway Corporation. And we don't know what they will be saying now that this has also happened in Lagos. Years back, we used to know that when a railway crossing, you get to a railway crossing, the sign is bold, is there. There is a stopper that comes down after ringing bells so that everybody stops and wait. The rail will pass, and then the train will pass, and then before vehicular and traffic movement continues. Well, there is this statement that all across, even in the Lagos where it happened, that that divider or stopper is nowhere there. Because if there was a stopper and a divider, the BRT vehicle would have stopped and waited while the train passed, and then we continued. It's not a new happening, it's world over, and so it should not be an issue. Now it happens, people are not reprimanded, nobody is made to face the law, nothing happens. In fact, at times it's even the innocent people that will be accused, and so it continues, impunity. And so we cannot continue to have such in a developed Nigeria and a developing country. Also, the issues of proper refuse management to reduce disaster. Just 3 days ago, outbreak of diphtheria in Kano, outbreak of diseases and what have you, communicable diseases across. Now in the FCT also, there was the outbreak of measles some time back. This period, when the rains are coming back and the heat in between, you find a lot of communicable diseases flying here and there. So this is a time where it is necessary for us in the FCT to up our game and do the needful. The environment and you will be back next week, Saturday, our usual afternoon tonic from 12 to 1. The Citizen FM, in collaboration with the Environmental Management and Disaster Risk Reduction Institute of Nigeria, is happy to always bring this program to you. From me, Stephen Ogboli, I'll be signing out now. I leave you with the words of Fela Anikulapo Kuti, who says, "Water no get enemy." Have a wonderful weekend, and please keep safe and think about disasters and how we should reduce them. Have a wonderful weekend.